A pop-up tent trailer is a great choice for a first-time buyer. It's also good for families who like camping but want more convenience and comforts. Some people think pop-ups are intimidating to set up. Some people think it's easy. The reality is it's kind of somewhere in between. Think of it like a traditional jack-in-the-box with a few extra things to do. First step, you back it into your campsite, and if your site's not perfectly level, you use a couple of blocks just to level the wheels. Next step is to level it front to back. You do that using the tongue jack. Cranking this clockwise or counterclockwise will help it level front to back. Then you're set to stabilize it. Next thing you do, Jason, is to drop down the stabilizing jacks. I'll get you to do that.
Okay, let's do it.
And then there's latches on all four corners to undo. So the next step is to crank it up. Clockwise raises it, and it's easy to turn. Go ahead, Tara, give it a few turns and see how easy it is.
So Dave, how do you know when to stop cranking?
Well, there's a safety cable like you see here. Once it's up and it's nice and tight, you're all set, you're all the way up. Our next step is to open up the tented ends. They always have support brackets. The type of support brackets varies from make to make. They're traditionally stored under the mattresses. So go ahead, grab that one, Jason. We'll pull this one out. And these two set up, in this case, right in the bottom, and then just on top like that. And you're ready to pull the tented ends out. So let's give this a tug. And then take the last two brackets. You grab that one, I'll grab this one. The next step is these last two brackets. They go right there, and then there's a slot on the tongue, and sometimes you have to lift up the tented end just to get them right. And this end's all set. So once the front's done, you don't forget to do the other side too. Once they're supported, your next step is to secure your tented ends. There's a couple different ways that these things are secure. Sometimes you'll see bungee cords, quite often Velcro, like in this case. To do it, you want to pull the ends first. There's Velcro all the way around, but you start with the end. So you give it a good tug, so you come right over the corner. You got it. And then look underneath, you'll see where the Velcro attaches. So you do that with the ends and then the sides. So the next step is to put our entrance door in place. They're attached to the ceiling, generally with a couple of snaps, just like that. You unlatch them from both ends, and then you've got it in your hands. Once you've got it down, you just sort of sneak it outside, and then you line it up with the entrance. And then there's two latches generally on the inside that make it nice and snug, and you're ready to use it. Presto, you got yourself an entrance door. You'll usually see Velcro just like on the tented ends to make it all nice and snug once it's in place. So after your door, we're ready to set up the inside. So come on in. Some tent trailers have one dinette or a sofa. This one has two dinettes. One of the dinettes we've already set up. Your next step is to set up your sinks and stoves and fridges, that kind of stuff. This one has a flip over sink, and that's your counter space. Here right away you can see we've got fridge, furnace. This one actually has a hot water heater and a full water system. Tent trailers typically come with an indoor-outdoor stove. If you use the stove inside, it'll sit on your counter, and I'll show you after how it mounts outside. Your cushions are just kind of stacked there. You move them out of the way and set up your table first. This one has the little pedestal leg, so you drop that down, and you can see how easily that falls into place. And then you put all your cushions. You can put it all back down again if it's wet, but once you get home, you want to open it all up and make sure you store it dry. Now we're ready for the last step, and that's to put the bars in place to open up the tented end. There's a long bar like this, which is normally stored just on the bed, and you lift this up, and there's usually a slot. You line up one end of the pole. Sometimes this one has the round, sometimes there's a little pointer, and you give it a little push, and there's a place to lock it in place. And that's it.
Super easy.
Yeah. I'll get you to do the other side, Jason, and we're ready to.
Okay. Okay.
So we're all set up inside. Next is a few little things to do outside. The indoor-outdoor stove can be set up right up here, and you're all set. There's other accessories you can get. roof racks for bicycles, which this one has. You can have awnings and outer rooms, lots of things to set up outside. So this was a 10-foot pop-up. There's 3 main lengths, 8-foot box, 10-foot box, 12-foot box. This one being the average with fridge, furnace, stove, hot water heater, kind of the average, but the 12-foots actually have slide outs and sometimes full washing facilities. So whether you're sleeping 4 or 5 or up to 8 or 9, there's lots to choose from.
What about AC?
Yeah, they do have air conditioning. This one didn't, but that's a feature that you can get on actually any pop-up too. So our work's all done. Our pop-up's all set up. Let's go get lunch.
Let's do it.